A major bill signed into effect that will affect millions of people from getting on social media, and it may happen in more than one state. And we have insurers leaving states completely, and it's happening here yet again. And this will cause insurance premiums to go up even more. All this and more in this video. Let's jump right in. Thank you so much for liking these videos. Here we go. Okay, so Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signs a bill that bans minors from being able to get on social media. This comes after he formerly vetoed a previous bill that did the same thing. It's now been revised. He signed it. Take a listen here.
We turn now to a social media showdown in Florida. Governor Ron DeSantis signing a bill banning children under 14 from having their own social media accounts, but it's expected to face a number of legal challenges. And Ariel Reshef joins us now with more. I can imagine a bumpy road ahead.
A bumpy road ahead. A lot of very strong opinions on this one. If this law holds, Florida will have one of the most restrictive social media bans in the country. The bill signed by Governor Ron DeSantis won't take effect until January 1st and is likely to face major legal challenges. The new measure bars social media accounts for children under the age of 14 and requires parental consent for 15 and 16-year-olds. It also mandates that social media platforms search for and remove the profiles of kids who don't meet the age requirement. Proponents have argued that access to social media is harmful to children's mental health. It's not yet clear which social media companies would be impacted, but the trade group NetChoice, which represents several major social media giants, slammed the move as unconstitutional, saying it violates the First Amendment, the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment, and federal law. Florida, it's not the first state to enact this type of ban. Arkansas and Ohio have also passed similar legislation, Lindsay, but both are tied up in court.
And it's
so a battle ahead.
Interesting to see how they're going to regulate that. How do you monitor and decide who's old enough?
All great questions. A lot of people want to know the answers to.
So this is signed into law, passed by Florida legislature, and will go into effect on January 1st. There will probably be legal challenges here where they will probably challenge this. And this may even go to the Supreme Court of the United States. We will see. As you can see here, other states have done similar measures. If this holds completely, we may see more states do this here. You can let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. This is putting power into the government's hands and taking power away from individual parents, which is, I am not so sure about. I think personally, again, I have a 5-year-old. He's about to be 6. I personally think it's better for parents to be able to make that decision on their own. For example, we have an iPad for our kid, and we let him, he has a YouTube Kids account, which only lets him access certain YouTube kid-friendly things. He can't basically go on and see anything else on YouTube, but only kid-friendly stuff. There's almost no, it's a very, very good system that we have. When the government tries to step in and regulate our family, it's almost like, why is the government telling us what to do? The government doesn't know our situation better. You guys can let me know your thoughts here in the comments. It's, everybody's going to have a different point of view here. Obviously, it's not quite social media here, but when we're talking about 17-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 14-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 8-year-olds, each situation's different for each family, but they're going to require these companies like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube to actually go and delete these accounts and require them to age verify or something in the future, which may be easily for them to bypass or not. We'll have to see. I'll keep you up to date here. Next up, another home insurer leaves California and 8 other states. We're seeing this trend as home insurers are literally leaving states, causing home insurance to go up, causing this for homeowners and renters to pay more money. And this is an alarming trend. And we're also seeing this with auto insurance as well, and different types of insurance as well. I'll throw this in here as well, because this is a very relevant story here. We covered this here yesterday. Insurers could face losses of up to $4 billion after the Baltimore Bridge tragedy, according to analysts. $4 billion on shipping and the whole ship tragedy incident. Apparently, they're saying that the ship lost power and lost steering, and that's why they sent the Mayday calls, and they weren't able to avoid the pillar there. And now $4 billion may have to be paid out by the insurance companies. And ultimately, who do you think will end up paying that $4 billion? Yeah, prices will go up one way or another, and somebody will end up paying that. Yeah, Californians struggling to find homeowners insurance got some more bad news when American National Group recently announced it will no longer write policies in California. This comes after we've seen this in multiple states, Florida being one that had many insurance companies just leave the state. A move that will leave nearly 38,000 homeowners without coverage. In a sign, the insurance crisis gripping California and Florida spread. American National has also announced plans to cancel homeowner policies in 8 other states. Their spokesperson announced that the decision and spelled out some of the reasons behind it, saying, quote, "This action is driven by significant and persistent profitability issues in the homeowners insurance market, and that it's no longer viable to write policies in the affected states because of inflationary pressures driving up costs, increasing claims frequencies, and competitive market conditions." The harsh reality is that the cost of covering claims is simply outpacing American National's ability to raise premiums and still be profitable for its shareholders. This is despite collecting an estimated $37.9 million in annual premiums from the Golden State alone. This might sound like a lot of money, but when you spread it out over 37,000 policies, it's not hard to see where California's combination of wildfires, mudslides, and floods could wipe the company out. And it's not just homeowners insurance. This comes after auto insurance premiums rose 17.1% in 2023 alone, and continue to rise here in 2024. Wow. And it's almost like we can't catch a break here as Americans, because every single thing that you can think of seems like it keeps going up. I mean, a 17% rise in auto insurance, which almost all states require you to have to drive, to have a license, and, to have, some type of insurance. Well, if you get pulled over to renew your driver's license, you have to, show this type of insurance, or at least minimal liability, whatever they require. It's kind of a racket. It's kind of a scam where they're forcing you to buy this insurance. They have you buy the cajones there, and they can raise the prices to whatever they want. It's kind of sad. And homeowners insurance is kind of similar. If you have a loan on your home, you're required to have homeowners insurance, and they're just raising insurance costs, and they're all doing it. That's the problem here. You can get quotes and quotes and quotes and kind of go with the lowest one, but when they're all raising them across the board, you can only get a quote that's so low. And this is the problem here, right? If your home's paid off, then maybe, you could do without it, and, forego that risk. But this is just one of the inflationary problems that the average everyday Americans are seeing here. We're seeing these, 15, 20, 30% rises in insurance that are just absolutely wild. And most of these these insurances are required for you to have. It's sick. It's wild. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know how much your insurance is going up here with all these different types of insurance that we're required to have. It's literally a racket. So I'll keep you up to date here, and it's crazy. If you haven't yet, subscribe down below, click the bell icon, and if you haven't yet, click here to see the ultimatum that the Mexico president gave Biden, or click here to see what's happening on April 8th. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.